traditional way of approaching things in the country, a male-dominated country, although in Southeast Asia, women often control the money. So there were many avenues for helping women economically, and that was her work. And she spent a lot of time in villages.
Doing exactly what?
Well, the truth is, I don't really know a lot of the details. I know that she later went on to do a lot of this micro-lending work, where women's groups get small loans in order to, for example, develop a business in sewing clothes or in making some kind of food, like there's a soybean product called tempeh, and very popular in Indonesia. So one could imagine that women's groups were encouraging this kind of entrepreneurship. And there was also always a women's empowerment side to this work. So you're not only helping them earn a little more money, but you're helping them think of themselves differently. And I know that that was very much part of Ann's thinking about her role as a change agent in that country.
And did you ever meet Barry, as a little boy?
Yeah. I didn't. He wasn't a little boy when we were there. He was actually at Occidental College. So his sister was about 13 or 14. His sister Maya, his half-sister, the daughter of his mother and her Indonesian husband. So Barack, by that time, I've kind of done a little of the math. I think he was about 21 at the time that I knew Ann. And he may have flown back to Indonesia and visited her when I was there, but I never met him. I remember her talking about her son, and I knew she had a son, but it was Maya that was the presence for us. And
because she went to school with your daughters?
She went to school. Our kids went to the international school, and Maya was there also. And partly because we lived just a block away
from each other.
Yes, our home was some distance from the office. And so the kids, you know, they rode the bus home together from school. And so she was one of their good friends.
So it was the girls that got in trouble together with Maya.
Yeah, there was my daughters that got in trouble together with Maya.
Very little is really talked about Ann Soetoro because she died of cancer.
Yes.
When she was something like 52, remarkably enough, I think they said. When did you realize that the Ann you knew, that you carpooled with, the woman you worked next door with at the Ford Foundation in Jakarta, when did you know that she was the mother of the man who was rising through the ranks in Chicago, really soaring as he became now, of course, president?
I think it was in about before Barack ran for president, but after his famous 2004 speech, so when he was on the rise, I got an email from the Jakarta office of the Ford Foundation. And they asked me, Fran, do you remember an Ann Soetoro? And were you at the office when she was there? And they said, we are writing because she is the mother of Barack Obama. And we think that the press may be asking us. When I read that email, I almost fell off my chair. I had absolutely no idea. I, of course, had followed Barack Obama, but without any awareness that this was the son of my friend and colleague from the Jakarta office of the Ford Foundation.
Because, of course, they don't have the same last name.
They don't have the same last name.
And he was Barry at the time.
And he was Barry, and, you know, kind of like... I just didn't know that at all. And what they said was they were interested to know what I could remember of her work, because the Ford Foundation office had been flooded and all of the papers had been turned to mush. So they actually did not have the records of the work that she had done. So they were interested to know what I could remember.
Did Barack and Ann look alike?
Not even a little bit. She is a rather largish woman, and not very tall. And of course, he's thin as a rail and quite tall. And she, of course, is a European white American. And he is a multicultural man that in America we consider black. So, yeah, there was no clues for me to make this connection to Ann.
Are there any particular stories you remember with Ann?
Well, there's one really striking one for me. I was driving my daughter to school, to a theater rehearsal in the evening. And in the middle of an incredibly chaotic traffic situation, which is typical, as you well know, in Indonesia, and a torrential downpour, my car stalled. And I got some guys to push the car, but when they did it, they pushed it so that one tire was in the canal. And I got out to deal with this chaos, and my daughter went around and locked the doors. So I now had a stalled car with one tire in the canal with locked doors and the keys inside. So I went to a nearby doctor's clinic that was right by the side of the road, and I made a phone call to Ann Soetoro, Barack Obama's mother. And I explained the situation of my car. And I remember her response so vividly to this day. She said in Indonesian, she said, "Mana bisa? How can that be?" She was just very calm, gave me some good advice about what to do next. And I often think that when I see Barack Obama's coolness and his calmness in the face of whatever crises, it harkens back for me to that moment when she responded to my plea for help in the face of a very perplexing situation for me that was so at ease and clear.
So now maybe it's only Democracy Now! Listeners, viewers, and readers will understand when Barack Obama is confronted with a massive global problem and he mutters, "Mana bisa."
That's it. How can this be? I'm sure that those thoughts must run through his mind as he looks at the financial meltdown or the mess in Iraq and in Afghanistan. Mana bisa. How can this be?
Fran Korten, executive director of Yes magazine, worked with Barack Obama's mother, Ann Soetoro, at the Ford Foundation in Indonesia for several years. And that does it for our broadcast. If you'd like a copy, you can go to our website at democracynow.org. Democracy Now! Is produced by Mike Berkshire, Fodokudu, Sarah Mata, Angelique Comet, Steve Martinez, Nicole Salazar, Hani Massoud, and Robbie Karen, Mike DeFilippo, Miguel Noguera, Peter Curry's our engineers. Special thanks to Becca Staley, Nick Gilla, Hugh Grant, Samantha Chambly, Elizabeth Press, Jay Salnur. I'm Amy Goodman. Thanks for joining us.